Hello everyone, welcome to my live stream. Today I'm working again on my February Gryphon illustration. Yesterday I got the nest done and some of the pine branches that need to be showing throughout the background. And so today I thought I would work on more pine branches to fill in this area and maybe have one coming up here, but it might just be best to fill in here so it doesn't get too busy down here. And then if I have time, I'll also work on this border, and if I get all that done, then I can move on to inking, because all that really needs to be done is finishing this sketch, finishing this border, then putting them together. So for the border I'll do some stuff off camera. I need to use Photoshop to copy these patterns here and here, and then copy it over here, and then do the same thing from here to here and from here to here, and then I'll print that completed border out true to size and then overlay it, and then that way I can trace using my light table onto the final page that I'm using for this illustration. But first I have to finish this sketch stuff. So I need to open up my files, my reference images for the pine branches. I put a couple more in today so that I would not just be copying the one single pine branch that I had done yesterday. I don't want to keep drawing this same one. Let me zoom in on this picture. Let me look at my other one. I'm going to decide where I want to put now, this is the one, the second picture I added is the one that I thought I might use to fill in more here, but it is already pretty busy with the tail with all its fluffy furs and then all of the streaks for the nest. I could just make it all coming down from the top. And if that's the case, then I need maybe one or two branches, maybe just one big branch coming over here. This picture is good. It has one that comes off in two directions from the exact same spot. So that could be a good way to fill in both areas right here. So let me look with the border on top again, how much of this corner is going to be cut off once I put the border on. Because I don't want to waste time drawing stuff that won't be in the final piece anyway. It's like kind of follows the same curve as the nest. This corner is just not even going to be in there. So if I do two branching, like sort of like a Y, an upside down Y right here, then that would fill in perfectly. So I think I'm going to do that. Just need to zoom in on this picture. Yay, I'm glad this stream seems good. I turned the bitrate up to 3000 today. And I also put the resolution up to 1600 by 1200, so I'm glad it seems great. The only problem with this one branching off, it does have one big branch coming down like this. I don't want to cover up the bird with a branch. So maybe instead of doing the two, I'll have one big branch coming off this way. Yeah, I won't use this as an exact reference. I'm just gonna use it more for ideas. Ideas about what a tree can do when it grows. And that still might be too big. So the way this is, in order to get the actual pine needles, which I think is more important, when people think of a pine tree, they think of the needles, not the branch part. With how much comes out, this wing would get covered anyway. I'm gonna erase this. I'm gonna make this work. I just need to fill in this last spot. Okay, I'm just gonna do one at a time. So I just need this very end of this stick here to be in here, so that the needles can all come down like this. Because what I want these branches to look like ultimately is that they're closer to the viewer than anything else. So the nest back here is the farthest away than the Gryphon, then maybe this edge of the nest, and then even closer is these branches. Sort of like you're looking down through the branches to see this nest from above. It just looks like so many needles at once. It's hard to decipher where they all come from. And get this line in here good. And I should do some coming off of the front of the branch. Like, I don't mind covering up some of the wing, because that's how you show that it's in front of the Gryphon and everything else. I just want to obscure it. Now that I'm actually drawing in this corner, I don't have a place to put my swipey brush. See, they just keep coming off of here in bundles and bundles. Bundles and bundles of needles. It is already starting to look like a branch though, so that's great. Pine needle branch. So I can keep moving up. I'm gonna make some more coming off from the front part of the branch. Maybe they'll go down like this. Okay, now I need some more filling in this area, so I'm going to make some come out from the side or the back, and then also some I want to make as if they're coming down from a part of the branch that you can't even see because it's off the page. Yeah, I just need a few now coming off like this. Just fill in a different direction so it makes it seem like there's even more branches that you just can't even see, but they're still making their mark visually. Let's see. I'll do some of these spikes from the other branch. So it makes it look like it's from the same tree. I mean, it ought to be. Oh, it could only fit one spike, but that's good. I guess that's enough for that area. This is going to be a sort of focal point of the frame anyway, the border, because it's going to have the biggest heart of all the hearts that are on the border. So it's going to cover this up anyway. Some of these in the reference photo are sort of crisscrossing like this. They're neighbors on the branch, these sets of needles. And they splay out from one another, but then that ends up crossing with their neighbor. In this reference photo, there's a branch that's coming out almost straight towards the viewer. I think maybe I'll do that. You can't even see the actual branch or twig that the needles are attached to because of the way they're coming out. It's kind of like a starburst of needles. Maybe I'll fill in this last corner with a branch that looks like that with a bunch of needles that look like that. So that'll be different from these two. Because every single branch is totally different on a tree. They'll never be two the same. But where should I start it? These needles on this one are super long. Maybe I should keep the needle length about the same between the branches. So if they're all growing this close together, probably the needle length is going to be the same no matter what. And I definitely don't want to cover the head of the Gryphon. So I don't want them like too long. I'll just start right here. So the ones that come directly out towards the viewer actually end up looking super short because of perspective. There's one up here, coming up this way. It's probably going to get lost anyway, behind the border. This one sort of goes over to the side. Oh, that's a messy line though. Looks kind of like a hand, like Okay. The needles all sort of make little bundles. They all grow into bundles together. We'll start with one bundle. And I don't want it to get any more visually complicated than the other branches I have. So probably won't draw as many needles as I'm seeing. I'll make this one go on top of this other branch. Give a little depth to the branches as well. Whew, I'm making a mess with this graphite here. I'll erase a little bit of it. Should have started drawing from the right side this way, but oh well, it's too late now. Some of these needles are super long. I can go way over here. think I still need more coming out of here. I didn't do it on purpose, but I haven't drawn a single branch past this line, even though this is gonna come out this way. It's interesting to me. Is it just a coincidence, or was it a subconscious choice? Getting there. This branch definitely doesn't look as full as the one in the picture I'm referencing. But as long as it fills in the space, that's what really matters. I just want to have the pine element present, but it's not a main player. I'm getting really lost. Okay. Oops. So I need some that come way down here past this bottom line. Yeah, I'll put them on top of the nest even, to show that even the nest is below. Let's do another one here. Let me look at this with the border on it. It might be enough. Right here, without the border on it, it looks kind of incomplete because of these blank spaces here, here, and here. When I cover it, I think that won't be, you won't even see those blank spaces. Like this one is gone. This one is almost completely covered up. And this one is gone. So maybe just for this one space, I'll just do a few stray needles. Oh, that would be great too if I have them pointing to the Gryphon's head and eye. Just have that little bit of extra emphasis on the subject of this, which is the Gryphon. Gonna help with filling in some of this white space right here too. I mean, I don't want to completely fill it in, but just give it a little bit of something. I think that might be good. Good for the sketch. Yay, I hope it is. Let's take a look. I don't think you can see this though. I don't think you can see through on the camera. Yeah, that's much better. It's filled in right here. This is blank though. Huh. This is filled in with nest. But this corner... Oh yeah, would you look at that? This side of the nest comes way up. This one is farther down. I'll just do some pine needles down there too. I'll use my other reference image because it had the needles coming up instead of coming down or out. Then it won't be totally, I guess not symmetrical, but I want it to be a little bit more natural. And having branch, Gryphon, nest, or whatever is too rigid, I guess. So this will be good. It'll break it up a little bit. A little stray patch of needles. As if the branch that this nest is on has some twigs growing up this way, so they're barely getting in the frame. Do some erasing. I didn't want to make the nest area too complicated, but I don't want it to look bare either, because that won't look right. It'll bring attention in the same way that working it too much will bring attention. This corner's super messy too. Stray graphite. Let me see if that helps. So I just need to bring this little bunch down a bit further. Maybe do some going this way. I think I'll just do a couple more, as if it's the sparse bottom layer where they're thinner and less of them. Yeah, just two little ones. Well, I think that's good for this sketch part. I'm going to move on from this and start working on the couple of areas I still need to fill out. So on the border, I need to finish figuring out what I'm going to do here and here. I think I just want to continue to do similar designs to this because it took me a long time to figure out a way to make the way that veins and arteries coming from the heart branch off, how they look, but not just fill this with veins and arteries, but make it a sort of like stylized pattern. And I finally figured it out. It looks simple now, but I did it so many times before I figured that out. I don't know how to apply that to this area, because these extra lines here, like this X here, I don't necessarily need that. They're just sort of left over from the way I designed the very first border for the January Gryphon that I already finished. So, like, as you can see, I ignored it here, this line that goes in the middle. I'm not using it there. So I should probably do the same thing for these, but since I put this heart here, which I need because I was going to put a total of 14 hearts around the border, that's all these numbers are for, so that it would be representative of February 14th, Valentine's Day. Because the theme I'm sort of going with for the whole illustration, it's an illustration of the month of February, but it's also Gryphon, and it's supposed to be naturalistic. So the Gryphon, as I said yesterday, is done building its nest, it's decorating it, and it's done that to hopefully attract a mate so that they can create new little Gryphons together. So February 14th, I'm not making the whole illustration about Valentine's Day, but that is a big inspiration. So the idea of hearts and the veins connecting these hearts to each other, I want to do that for the border. But like, this part is what troubles me a bit. This big comes apart like this. I'm not sure what to do there. Maybe I don't need to do anything there. I could just leave it. Just leave it blank. Or maybe I'll just do one little swirl dividing it. Because also what I was doing here, I wrote RB, so I'm doing red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. So it's like the arteries and the veins are red and blue. So that it's even more indicative of the physical structure of the heart, not just the sort of like symbolic, like this shape. But how to do this? I should probably just do the same thing. Sort of stretch it out, I suppose, over this long. This is longer and thinner than this part. Once I figured this out. I think that'll look good once it's copied over this little, sort of like the heart is pushing. This heart is so big and heavy, it's pushing down this line. How did I make this happen? Made this symbol myself and it's so complicated. Pattern, I guess it's the pattern. Sort of like a Y shape, but it doesn't actually touch the hearts. It's meant to be the same structure branching off from itself. Okay, there's one. Yeah, maybe I'll just keep doing this and work my way inwards. But this one is actually meant to be on top. This curve is meant to be on top of this curve. And I think I did it so that they're opposite, so this one needs to be on top. Oops, no! It's not supposed to go all the way to this heart. Only part way. Okay, curve. Come down, and then this one branches off on its own. There. Good. That's good. Okay, and this one comes all the way down to the side. It starts in the middle. It almost meets with this line. Okay. So I have to draw the other line from the other direction first. I'm already getting confused about what I'm doing. Okay. So starting on this side. So this one has to come from around here. And it almost meets with that one. Don't look quite the same. These go underneath both. It follows the same shape as this one, just further down. Okay, same here. Okay, yay! And then this one's just a simple curvy line in the middle. Woohoo! I did it! Okay. Now, since this one is red, this one is going to be red. I wonder if I should make this one red or blue. There are two hearts here. I guess it would look nicer as a border if it was the same color, so that each corner had the same color coming out like this. So yeah, I'll do that. This one needs to be red, and then this one is blue. And how's it going? This one is red, and this one is blue, and so this one is red, and this one is blue. So that would make this bottom one blue, but the top one red here. Red and blue are great colors too, not only because they come from the arteries and the veins, the classic colors, although my veins look green. But anyway, the birthstone for February, if I'm not remembering incorrectly, is amethyst, which is most popularly known as a purple stone. So that is perfect because red and blue make purple. So I think this border is going to be just working really well for a bunch of reasons. I want to fix this though. Now that I've done this upright, I don't like how this line is going. I'll fix this line. It's coming too high up. It's to just... There, that's much better. So now I'll be able to copy this over to this side so I don't have to redraw it, because I'm going to have to redraw the whole thing anyway at the end when I trace this onto the final page that I'm going to actually be drawing and painting on for the final piece. So it's nice that I have Photoshop to just copy this and not have to draw it, and then draw it and draw it again. At least I only need to do the initial drawing once and then trace it once. I mean, I have to do the initial drawing only like half the time, less than half, because all this will be copied, and this little one. Now, this part is super long. I'm definitely going to do this same motif, but I don't think I'm going to stretch it like I did here. I'm just going to have to add even more. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe I'll add one more layer of overlap. So hopefully what I can do is just this middle V shape on each side. I'll do one more of those in between here and here. But I want to make sure it's, I mean, it's such a little detail, but that's what's important to me. This one being the one that is supposed to be the one overlapping, I want to make sure the bottom one is so that it's sort of like a reflection, so it seems balanced. Okay, and this one branches out and does the same thing. Yay. And then I have to do the opposite, so this one has to come out from here and go up to the top. And then this one branches out to the bottom and reaches up as well. I have a feeling I'm going to want to fix this again, but I'll wait until I flip the page. Now, this was the one on top, so I'll start with this one, and it comes out again like this. And this one branches out to the same spot, just about. So that one led, so now this one. And out you come. Okay, yeah, one more set of these and then I'll just do that little swipe through the middle. You know what though? I did this one opposite. I need to make sure this matches. Ooh, fresh. So on this one, it's the short lines that this connects to. But on here, instead of connecting the short lines, I had connected the long lines. But I want this to be the same pattern overall. Blue, red, so this one will be red, blue, red. Okay, there. No one would even notice that, but I would notice, and then it would bug me. Okay, this one led, so now this one's gonna lead. Yep. And it comes down like this. And then this one branches out up like this. Actually, no. No, this one has to be done special. Such a little thing, but it's a lot more work than you might think. That's what I have to do. They need to look almost like they're going like this. So I need to... Okay, this one was leading. Or was it? Oh, goodness. This one was leading. I need to make that more obvious. There. So now this one leads again. I'm going to make sure it goes almost all the way down to this other one. Almost like they're connecting. And then I'm going to do this one the same way. There. Now, yeah, this needs to branch off and finish not at this line, but within this line. There. Now you. Good. Now, this connects to the small one, so in it goes. Okay, good. Now, so since this will be reflected down here, this one will obviously be red, so this one needs to be red. This one will be blue, red, and then this one will be blue, red, blue, red, and blue. Excellent. This was another thing that was just holding me back from finishing this. Just such an overwhelming, so many little details, so many different things to think about. It's my own fault for liking symbolism and stuff so much. I want to jam pack it with things so that everything in there has meaning. But then that makes it a lot of extra work for me. But in the end, I think it's worth it. The January Gryphon I finished last year is one of the best pieces I've ever done. And I always find that these ones where I really put a lot into it and everything I possibly can, even years and years later, I still really love them, so it's worth it. It's just hard sometimes to get motivated, but in the end I'm like, yes. So that's it for today. There's not really anything else I can do on camera. I'm gonna copy this stuff in Photoshop and print it out on the same size paper, print it out true to size, and then for my next stream, well, my next stream tomorrow will be Chibi Friday, so come Monday I'll do a stream with my light table, tracing this and the other drawing together onto the final sheet with ink. I think I should double check, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to use ink and not pencil, because then ink doesn't, once it's dry, it doesn't smear like this pencil where it's so messy. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching.